out of like 10 appointments you guys have sent me, I think like 6 were really solid, and people were like, "I'm waiting for you. Come over." The other 4 were people that were kind of edgy, and I
Yeah.
think they were probably the first kind of couple appointments. The last ones were just really good, but the first couple ones, well, I'm guessing that you guys were scaling this up as far as optimization. The first ones were kind of yes and the no, and I spoke to Jesus Lopez, and he was like, "I want it, but." I just don't want just solar. Like, what else do you guys? And I'm like, oh man, we do everything. We do everything for the house. We do roof. We do HVAC. We do windows. We do installation for your home. In my fucking head, I'm like, I don't know how the hell I'm gonna get somebody for installation, but I'll figure it out. If that's the one thing that, and he's like, you guys do installation? I'm like, yeah, man, we do it all. And he's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that changes things up. Come over, and I'm like, all right. So he's like, I'm like in my head, I'm calling people. So I start calling contractors, and the guys like, I'm talking like different contractors. And I'm getting price on installation, and they were like, is the house still getting built? I'm like, no, it's built. And they're like, I mean, we can get in the attic, but I'm like, God damn. So I'm getting price. I'm coming prepared, and I sit down with the guy. He's like, yeah, man, I was thinking about windows, and I'm like, you got me working over here for installation. So long story short, the guy's getting windows. But even after during the sale, I wasn't able to get a unit price on windows until yesterday that I was over in the window shop with the contractor. I was able to get the price on windows, but even when I got the price on windows, I called this guy back and he's like, "Okay, cool. Let me talk to the contractor." Because I actually got to the house without knowing much. So now if I go into another house, I'm gonna be a lot more skilled. But it's like, let me talk to the contractor. I'm like, okay, you can talk to him, but I already have the price. Let me go close you. Let me go right now, right up, finish, wrap up the documents that we have in place to move the process along. He's like, okay, let's do it, but let me talk to him first. After that, I'll let you know, and then we could sit back. In my head, I was like, God, this guy, and I knew it was like a power trip he was
Yeah.
having. It's one of those things. I'm like, I'm not gonna make a decision until I have my agenda met. And but I know, regardless of the situation, he's gonna do it because he's really wanting to do the windows, roof, this and that, and I'm gonna make my cut on solar really
Yeah.
low. That's
Yeah.
strategically how I'm trying to do it.
You just tied into the loan.
So in this guy, he had 158 170. The last year's average was 158. This year's was 174. And I put him solar. With solar, he was at 119, 118. The guy's comfortable. The guy's happy. But I know I have to follow his agenda. A lot of reps might lose the deal because they'd be like, I already gave you everything. Why didn't you wait? But in
Yeah.
my head, if you understand the type of interest these homeowners have, luckily I've had the chance to work this, not just this month working with you guys, but priorly. These people are very, very on board with whatever it is. Even if you got to give them a day, 2 days, 3 days, just give it to them because it'll cost you more by losing that trust over something that's already in place, which is their level of interest towards getting this 177 $3 above their what they're currently paying. Sometimes I hear it in there while I'm in their house. The easy closes, the people that are like already in, they're like, why would I not do it? I'm gonna pay this regardless. I'm just not
Yeah.
gonna. So that helps a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it makes them probably a little bit more loyal customer too.
I'm gonna go back for so many references, man. Situations I had, but the guy in the end before I left, he was like, "I'm really happy you helped me out with this. Come back, and I'm gonna have 3 more clients for you." And I'm
No
like,
way.
"Yeah."
No
So,
way.
so I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I think out of this can be very profitable if you understand the marketing, the approach, the value you're providing, and how you can channel it to your benefit.
Yeah, no, that's literally nuts because that's pretty much one deal turned into like three. So that's like almost four deals right there out of one appointment.
Yeah, it just needs to get installed, but that one was a 7 kilowatt, so
Yeah.
I made $2 on that.
Oh, that's why you were so happy that day. You called me because
I
you
was
just
that
got
day. I
three
fucked up.
deals.
I was that. It was 14 grand I took home that day.
That's insane. So when you like first started that campaign, what the guy you were telling me about before, was he one of the first four or was he part of that next six that were like really high quality?
The next six. The next
Okay,
six.
okay. And
The
I,
first 4 was that guy that kept on rescheduling. And that's another thing I'm noticing. The first couple, 2, 3, they would cancel. I mean, they'll cancel. I think 2 of them were very rude. But they later started going from canceling to rescheduling, and then they went from rescheduling to being there. And then last couple of points was this one. They went from being there to being thankful that we were there.
Really?
Quality went up high. Yeah.
Really?
A
Wow.
lot of some of them are still skeptical, but their level of interest, like people like hiding their level of interest, and I get it. They're
Yeah.
feeling like if they put themselves too much out there, they're gonna get taken advantage of. So some of them act a little. But once you start giving them the insights, what they don't know, what they like to hear, their face changes, their animosity changes more into a friendly mood. So I like getting homeowners just like that.
Yeah. Do you see the difference here whenever I talk about like Facebook and Instagram compared to like YouTube? Do you see the quality difference?
I was telling my guys, I'm like, it makes sense. I never dabbled into it. I just dabbled into Facebook as a rep because Facebook was something that I had injured myself and I couldn't work for 2 months. So
Yeah.
I had said I need to keep going. So I ran across Facebook, not even because I was dabbling in marketing, just because I wasn't able to move. So I did it. But I always wanted to learn Google and YouTube. And I told my guys, this makes sense because on Facebook, people are scrolling all day. They don't care. They're just, this is part of their life. You're on their life. You're advertising to them in their space. So they might say yes to you, but they'll throw you off or they'll probably forget or their level of interest in there. But when somebody's probably looking on Google, when Google's algorithm is there, this guy was like, he was like, actually the one I told you that I closed, the 7 kilowatt, the one that was super crazy and we had a really good connection. As soon as I got there, he's like, yeah, man, I saw the ad. And I'm like, he's like, I don't know how because I was thinking about it within the week. I saw that ad on YouTube. It's like, he told me, I think YouTube's reading my mind. I'm like, no, it is. That's the algorithm of, I don't know if it reads your mind, but at least if you say something, some people say, if you think, I honestly say, if you think of something, Google will throw it at you. I don't know how. They probably got some microchips in us or something, but I told the guy, no, there's some level of interest there, the robustness of Google as far as advertising. So I'm very comfortable as far as understanding that Google will throw at you people that are interested, not just people that run across an ad.
Yeah, YouTube is like based off of buyer intent. So, like I think we discussed before, it's like based off what you're searching and like been searching within like the last 30 days, within the week, within the last 24 hours. It's what it's going to show you in regards to that. And like Facebook is more of a possible interest based off of demographic for the most part.
Mhm.
In certain characteristics now, like if you got family, if you have like kids, grandkids, different things like that, and then it will like pair you with that ad and then see if you buy it on it. I mean, for other industries like roofing and landscape and like HVAC or whatever, it works great. But for solar, like definitely YouTube, Google, the way to go. It's not, you're trying to get someone to sign a lease or an agreement for like an $80,000 project. You have to have
Can be kind of interested.
yeah, you
It
have to
can
be
be.
fully interested. You got to know what you're
Yeah, I
doing.
know. I'm telling you, I understand that fully, and I think that's why I'm not surprised this is going so well. I think Google is the future. I've seen you post this in groups, and probably some people are like, no. I think Google and YouTube are king. Really, I do
Yeah,
believe that.
king. So that first month, if you could break it down week by week, like how you were feeling in terms of like the quality or like different things that we
I was
discussed.
gonna drop you guys the first 2 weeks, but no, I think overall the whole campaign's been phenomenal. I mean, that's the thing about solar. Like you don't need to, if you know how to work, if you know how to deliver quality, you don't need too many opportunities, right? I think that's why a lot of people get away with delivering shitty results because you don't need that much to make an ROI on an investment, especially in
Yeah.
solar. So a lot of people are in the space doing mediocre work, but no, I think the first week was kind of slow. I got a little bit of PTSD, flashbacks of other companies that just didn't deliver. But the second week it started, at least people started, like I said, it went from cancels, bad credits, to now people at least being quality, at least having credit, and then and some would cancel still on second week, I think, and then third week they started, like I said, instead of canceling, they would show up. I think that's let me see the third week. The third week of June, I think is when we had in-person appointment. We had the first sale. Yeah, it was the first sale on a Monday. The third week. So the third week they started showing up. The people that showed up and we ran credit, they qualified, they were in. The other people that didn't show up, they rescheduled. They were still interested. which was big. And then this week we're at, which is not the last week. So there's 5 weeks actually in July, so in June. So there's kind of cut up weeks, but you could kind of say this is the last strong week of June. Just the appointments. Like I think I'm like 4-4, 4 out of 4 appointments, 5 appointments. I'm closing them all.
That's your first month. That's crazy. They and so like through this whole process, how was it when it came to communication with the team, Sydney and everybody?
Good. I kind of feel like I probably like traumatized Sydney with all my like analness and just being like super on top of everything and micro managing everything. But I think the whole team, you guys stay confident. I know I like I told you, man, I've been generating appointments for 2 years now. Well, 3 years. No, 3 years. Myself generating appointments, yeah, 3 years. Having a cost and all that, about two. But 3 years that I've been generating appointments, I've ran through multiple companies. That's what I'd probably be able to give you guys. That I've ran through multiple companies. I'm very confident in when I grade a company, when I'm able to rate a company and I'm able to tell them, you guys have a phenomenal team and a phenomenal process. It's because I have the callus, you know, I have the experience to be able to say that. So the fact that you guys were that confident in your guys' work and there was never a moment of doubt. Maybe along the way, the first, second week, there was a moment of doubt for all of us, right? But I think as you guys really just stood your ground on everything, doubled down on the amount of appointments and the optimization, it started giving results. So I think the whole team's been good. The answers have been promptly, everything's been good.
That's good. Yeah, your campaign's actually doing very well. You're averaging about $65-$70 cost per lead in Texas, which is like one of the most competitive markets for solar. And you're doing the Spanish campaign. It's performing very well. I know we got a couple more leads in, so like Dollar team's currently contacting them to book an appointment. But like we got to stick with this, optimize, let you close some deals because like we knew you were going to close deals. It took time to be able to like buy data, optimize the data for the exact customer that we're looking for in your new campaign because it's a branded campaign. So like those things have to happen when it comes to marketing. And it's not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna launch you first month, you're just gonna get 15 appointments guaranteed and like 15, you're gonna get 15, 20 houses like off the rip. Like, no, you have to buy the data, you have to optimize the data to find your ideal client and then optimize for that client every single time and continuously get credit scores that are over 630, that are in the 700s, 800 ranges. Like it takes time. But
so,
like
I wouldn't want to go through the first 2 weeks again for month two.
Yeah.
Considering going back to English. So I know the lead flow kind of went down and I'm sure I'm still getting charged about $100 a day. I know maybe my cost per lead is probably going to go up because of kind of the slope, the slope we went through. But I wouldn't want to slow down at all. I need to keep this pace. So if it's better in your opinion to go the same route going into month two with Spanish right now to let this breathe and have that as a backbone, and then once I get that drop, I would want to run an English ad. So I'd maybe want to run two, an English and a Spanish. And
I would just trust the process. It's the same thing every time. We're generating leads. Sometimes you might have slow periods. Sometimes you have really fast periods. And you're dealing with homeowners at the same time, making a buyer's decision. If it was as easy as just like putting a puzzle together and like pieces, boom, each piece goes here and then boom, just like, you know, then like there would be no reason for you to like pay us or anything like that. But you know, we're doing everything on our end to optimize for the best results. But then also, not only are you dealing with homeowners, we're dealing with homeowners because we're having to contact these people. We cancel out the people that are not qualified.
You know? Well, there's a lot there. Let's talk a little bit about that. There's a lot of leads on high level, and I don't mind calling them. I actually would prefer to call them if they're kind of old leads. But the reality is I'm pretty good at rescheduling appointments. I'm pretty good at following up. I'm pretty good at scheduling past appointments. So if there's more to work with, if there's more opportunity to generate more, I'm always going to take advantage of that, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. And that's what we tell everybody, like, leads won't work for you. Appointments won't work for you if you're not good with rescheduling and following up with clients. You don't have a tight knit sales process. Like, it doesn't make sense. marketing will literally never work for you if you do not have that in place. If you think you're just going to walk in and close them like within the first 15 minutes, like you might, but that's also like just a golden nugget deal. You're going to sometimes have to follow up, and like, you know, it might take them a week to like really close on it, but I'd rather wait a week or a month than waiting like 3 months for a maybe, or like just a no after calling them 20 million times every single week. So that's like one of the crucial things, like the follow up and reschedules, it happens, but it's all about the follow up and everything else before it.
Yeah, because I mean, if there's a little bit of it, that's because I'm like that, man. That's why I like closing stuff, because I'm like, I like putting the example from the front. Even one of my managers that I'm having in place, like, man, I fucking respect you, dude, because you still are pushing me even from the front, even angry. I'm like, I'm not gonna stop running these appointments. That's another way for me to revenue and not worry about costs of things going up and, you know, external factors affecting us.
We met through Facebook Messenger, right?
Yeah, man. I remember going online and I looked you up and I'm like, this guy seems like he's got something different. So I reached out to you. I wanted to work with you. And then it took a while to get to, but when we set the call, I'm very like, I like looking under rocks. I like looking up on dirt on people. So I was like, let me see what this guy's good and bad things come out. So I put up your name on the search set for Facebook and I let everything just rain down. And I saw you. That's when things just clicked for me. And I'm like, okay, I want to work with them. When I started seeing you posting in different contractor groups, windows, roofing, a lot of different groups for contractors. And not a lot of people are giving you good receptiveness, but I'm like, okay, so if this guy is working with them, he's probably running ads for them, or he's probably doing things like that for them. He's working in a way or not with them. So he's probably, if he has concepts on how to generate leads for these contractors, all we got to do is add solar there. Luckily, and I was thinking, like, maybe he is currently doing that with solar. So we got on the call, and then it was all history from there. There are kind of our models align very, very weirdly well.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's
the story and how. But yeah, man, I jumped on you guys on the first call. I don't do that. I really don't do that.
I was surprised when you did it. I didn't think you were gonna do it the first one. I was like, all right, he's gonna think about it hard. And you're like, let's do it. And I was like, let's do it. I was like, Nick's like, and I was like, yeah.
And I was hesitant. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that right now I'm still hurting a lot for money. Honestly, this is, and I'm not gonna say because I think I got a big drop. I got big movements coming in. Like I'm at the panels, me installing. So I'm very, very, very comfortable. Probably at my lowest point that I've ever been, because I know I have this, I have the installs, I have the financing, I have the team, I have the hiring in place. I have a lot of things in place, right? But at that time, it was very uncertain, and I had probably more money than I have right now in my bank account.
Yeah,
I dropped in the moment, but it was very uncertain times, and I was kind of worried. I'm like, what if this company, even if they seem to have everything, lets me down again? This is that was literally the last thing I was going to invest in before I had to be like, all right, I got to go knock doors, I got to generate other. Actually, what I started doing when I started seeing that the campaigns weren't delivering, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to start a sales team. And I kind of did. That's why I got my 3 managers in place right now that I have, and 2-3 guys that are knocking doors with them. But yeah, those 6,500 you guys told me, 3,000 ad spend and then 3,500 for us. I'm like, all right, this is my livelihood that I'm giving you guys. Please trust this. But I'm like, all right, let's do it. Because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what am I gonna do with that money right now? I'm not gonna do shit. I can't invest it in Facebook. I would love that. I think I would have been more comfortable. I would have maybe told you guys, nah, let me get more revenue. Posting too many ads at the same time too quickly because I was trying to get more leads. So it was just that I'm like, I don't know if I want to deal with Facebook right now. So I'm like, okay, this is it. And yeah, I gave you guys all my trust in the same call.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we.
Funny, huh?
Yeah, I know that is crazy, but like, I mean, dude, we do truly like want to deliver good results for you and like all of our clients. So like we literally built everything around our clients. So in terms of like actually being able to generate results, we focus on that before we actually focused on sales. So it's just like months and months and months and months and months and months and months of just like perfecting and then like really understanding before we even like really went into sales.
Sense. And in my head, I'm like, and my guys told me, and I think that's when we also started having a lot of issues within my organization, is they're like, imagine what the type of branding we could have done with that money, the type of maybe impact, the SEO, the things like that we could have done for the brand. But here we are. We just kind of got some revenue, and by that time, our guys let us down. Our sales team let us down bad, which we come back to that. It's not about the ads and leads. It's really about the sales people that are running it as well.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, yeah, there is a very valuable point that as much as I call myself at that time for my city, for the most part, there's a lot of people respect me for that. The leads king and the sales marketing king. As much as I want to proclaim myself that, I failed myself on that side of being able to direct the ad spend as well towards maybe having the brand in the corner of the ads, or maybe having the name on the ad copies.